We're here at Port Arthur in Tasmania, one of the nominees for the Seven Wonders of Australia and the flagship of Australia's World Heritage listed convict sites. It's set over around 100 acres of beautifully manicured lawns and was built in the 1830s and remains today as a lasting testament of Australia's convict history. Extremely popular place not only for tourists but for its educational value as well, and obviously has inherent beauty and sightseeing value in terms of the buildings, its surrounding grounds and the water. I'm here with Colin from Port Arthur Historic Site. Colin, can you give us some background from your perspective about what makes Port Arthur such a special place?
Port Arthur is such a special place because it's unique in this country. So much of our convict infrastructure has over many years been destroyed both consciously as well as unconsciously, and certainly Port Arthur is in ruins, but it is the most intact convict site within the country.
And what are some of the main highlights of the grounds here that people most are interested in, you find?
It's the iconic ruins, of course, which people are familiar with through media and photographs in books, and they're fairly high profile. But it is the stories of the convicts who are here, the stories of the beginnings of this country from a European perspective. It's always the people aspect which people find most interesting.
And what has the site done in the past couple of years to improve the visitor experience for those coming to Port Arthur Historic Site?
Our conservation and infrastructure program is always ongoing at Port Arthur and always will be. A massive amount of restoration and conservation has happened to this iconic building behind us, the penitentiary. We have done a lot of restoration work and conservation on the separate prison. Recently we opened a new visitor centre which increases visitor facilities and visitor flow through that part of the site as well. But conservation always has been and it always will be to maintain Port Arthur as an historic site, but also enhance the visitor experience.
And other than walking the ruins themselves, are there any other activities that visitors can take part in while they're here?
Every visitor that comes through Port Arthur is offered an introductory tour which they can join. They can go on a harbour cruise as well. We offer extra tours to Isle of the Dead, which is the burial ground during convict times. We offer tours to Point Poor, which was the boys' prison. The first sanctioned juvenile prison under British control was here. We offer a specific tour oriented around escapes from Port Arthur, the stories of convicts who tried to maintain their freedom or gain their freedom by any possible means. We also have a device which every person is given a playing card, and that playing card tells the story of a person who was at Port Arthur, and that's available to people in the visitor gallery as well. Also, we do ghost tours every evening, and they have a long history at Port Arthur and are world famous. We have excellent food facilities. We have a fabulous restaurant where people can eat at night time. We even offer what we call a commandant's carriage tour. People can hire a buggy and be driven around the site, and one of our guides will tell them stories. We offer another facility whereby people with limited mobility can be taken from place to place around the site as well. Port Arthur's about 100 acres and a lot of people find the terrain a little difficult. So we try to cover all bases, and I think we're doing a pretty good job.
So as you know, Port Arthur Historic Site has been nominated as one of the Seven Wonders of Australia for Tasmania. Why do you feel it's worthy of that title, or it is such a special place from your perspective?
It is a very special place because even though it was this punishment station, one of the harshest prisons in our colonial history, it's also very beautiful. The natural landscape is very beautiful. The created landscape, European trees and these beautiful buildings simply enhances all of that. And because, as I mentioned earlier, this iconic status as this largely intact convict site, which is becoming more and more important to Australians.
Yeah, great. So get online and vote for Port Arthur Historic Site for the Seven Wonders of Australia.